Another important story: on Wednesday and Thursday, delegates from 28 governments around the world, as well as the heads of top artificial intelligence companies, gathered for the first AI Safety Summit at Bletchley Park in the United Kingdom. The two-day summit began with an agreement which resolved to establish a shared understanding of the opportunities and risks posed by frontier artificial intelligence. 28 major countries, including the United States, China, Japan, the United Kingdom, France, and even India, the European Union, along with China, agreed to sign on a declaration saying global action is needed to tackle the potential risks of AI. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden's executive order on AI also seeks to not only establish new guidelines to protect the national security and privacy of its citizens, but also to balance the needs of technology companies by attracting talent from across the world. It's important to highlight the fact that the US President signed this executive order before the Bletchley Summit took place. And with that, let me also bring in my guest today. I'm joined in by Sultan Meghji, who's joining us live from St. Louis in Missouri in the United States. He's an adjunct associate professor of engineering with special focus on AI and cybersecurity. Many thanks to you, Sultan. Now, the UK's technology secretary has said that for the first time, we now have countries agreeing that we need to not just look at AI independently, but collectively also at the risks that surround AI. How do you weigh in on the Bletchley Summit communique?
Yeah. Well, this is the first of its kind agreement, and absolutely fantastic to see this kind of international collaboration. The challenge is, of course, going to be what it means when you take these declarations back to the countries in question. You know, here in the United States, for example, the agreement carries very little weight because the US Congress is not going to be passing any new laws that would follow on to the Bletchley Declaration. And a lot of the tech companies here in the US are just going to keep doing what they've been doing. I think that's especially true not just in the US, but also in China. And so while it's, I think, you know, a great press release and is a wonderful thing to see this kind of collaboration, the actual impacts, I think, are going to be rather muted.
Sultan, also, what happens to concerns of countries that are more in favor of open source, especially countries from the global south want to be associated with open source technology?
No, and in fact, I think it in many ways caused quite a challenge because some of the language that came out of it was fairly hostile to open source technologies, which is how the internet works and is a key component to the technical development in a variety of different areas, not just artificial intelligence. I think anyone who says that there's some sort of conflict between open source and good regulation or good controls fundamentally doesn't actually understand the open source community or how the entire technology universe of our civilization, especially in the global south, actually works.